I'm Dave Marciano, and I'm the owner and the captain of the fishing vessel Hard Merchandise, and I'm here at Accurate Fishing Headquarters. I started fishing when I was 11 years old. I had my first job in a boat. Worked on the party head boats out of Gloucester, Mass. And it just progressed from there. Gradually, as I grew older and we had kids, I needed to make some more money. That's where I branched into the commercial end of the industry. That's how I pay my bills. Catching fish, in the case of giant bluefin tuna, one at a time. I caught my first giant bluefin tuna fishing on the Janie B, which was a commercial fishing vessel fishing out of Gloucester, Mass. My knees were knocking like I was a little kid. I was probably about 18 years old and I had been fishing my whole life, but there's nothing like the sight of your first bluefin tuna. It was about a 500-pound fish, and the adrenaline rush was simply amazing. I spent my entire life commercial fishing. I still do to this day. And in that time, there was, periods of time when you talk about that Andrea Gale and the perfect storm. There's an interesting twist of fate to that story. Before that trip, that was back before I owned a boat. I was just a crewman working on the waterfront at a young age. My wife and I were just married, my wife and I, Nancy. I was early 20s at best when that all happened. I was going to go on that boat. I was going to make a trip. It was just one trip. Going longlining for swordfish was on my bucket list of things to do as a crewman. And just as a twist of fate, a week before that trip, I got a job offer to work on a full-time dayboat gill netter out of Gloucester, Mass. I took that job because that was year-round work versus one trip for 1 month. And just out of fate, that was the last trip that boat made. And I would have been on that boat with those guys. That was before any of my children were born as well. So it's interesting in the fishing industry how sometimes just a choice of what job you take can make a big difference in somebody's life. In the time I've been doing this, I've probably caught a couple of dozen fish that have broken that 1,000-pound mark, a grander as we like to call them. The minimum size fish for this fishery is 73 inches. That's about a 200-pound fish. For you to hit 1,000 pounds, you're looking at 10-foot tuna fish.